Today, we begin the quest to turn a game's difficulty dial as high as it goes and answer the question that people have been asking for a millennia. How hard could it be? And what better place to start than the game that popularized the legendary difficulty, Halo Combat Evolved. Now I know what you're thinking to yourself. Halo CE on Legendary, that's not that bad. And you'd be right, that's where the skulls come in. For those uninitiated, in Halo, LASO stands for Legendary All Skulls On. The 12 skulls in Combat Evolved are Iron, which in theory means that dying restarts the entire level, but lucky for me, if you pause and exit the game right when you die, then when you resume, the game will put you at your last checkpoint. Mythic, which gives enemies double health. Thorn makes it so Master Chief doesn't know how to use Covenant weapons. Famine makes weapons dropped by AI have half ammo. Fog disables the minimap. Malfunction disables a random part of your HUD, which isn't that bad until it disables your crosshair. But another workaround. I cut off part of a sticky note to act as my crosshair, just in case, so my screen always looks like this. Recession makes every shot you take use 2 ammo instead of 1. Eye Patch disables aim assist, which is no problem if you're playing on a mouse and keyboard, but I'm not afraid, I'm still gonna do it with a controller. Black Eye makes it so you can only regenerate your shields by meleeing an enemy, so basically the no shields noise is gonna be playing the entire game. Grunt Birthday Party turns grunt headshots into a celebration. But Grunt Funeral makes grunts explode when they die. Combined with the Boom Skull, which makes explosions twice as big, chain reactions from killing grunts is going to be the name of the game. Now you might be asking why? Why would you do that to yourself? Well, it's all for that sweet, sweet... Wait a second. It's only 30 gamer score? But who cares? I mean, how hard could it be? Halo starts the same way as every other first-person shooter ever, on board the Pillar of Autumn, but it's being attacked by aliens, and that's where I come in, to help the Master Chief escape danger. And believe me, there is danger. Right away this guy blocks my path and then tells me to go the wrong way.
This way!
An explosion takes out my shield, so I restart. You'll notice my death counter didn't increase because I didn't die. If I restart before I die, it doesn't count, and I make the rules. Now at this point, Master Chief doesn't have a weapon, so the only option is to run for our lives. Luckily, when we find Captain Keyes, who tells me he's Master Chief's dad,
son, you'll have to find ammo as you go.
He gives us a pistol with no bullets in it. Now I wish I could show you my first death in this challenge, but it was really embarrassing, so I'm not going to. There will be plenty more, don't worry. So then Cortana encourages us to help these soldiers.
Those Marines could use some help, Chief.
But they're not going to make it anyways, so I sneak past these enemies without any one of them noticing. I turn this corner and save some Marines from this elite, who still dies from one backsmack, and the Marines are so grateful that they willingly give me all of their ammo and grenades. Now here's the first example of how the Grunt Funeral School can actually work to my benefit. When grunts come with a squad of Covenant, if you kill one grunt, and you're lucky, it'll cause a chain reaction of grenades and grunt bodies until everyone is dead. The second time it didn't go my way, and this plasma grenade killed me through a wall. I forgot about the Iron Skull, and I have to start the level over. I am swiftly able to retrace my steps before exacting my revenge. The Covenant kindly brought me overshields, so I grab them and gain an overwhelming sense of confidence. Or at least I thought so, until this single grunt jump scares me. This red elite hits me with the good old get down Mr. President, so I have to find a different way to handle things. And that goes pretty well. But then, this part is pretty straightforward. Hit this jump on my first try and then just run past everyone. And thanks to the Black Eye Skull, beating elites in a one-on-one boxing match is easy because every punch gives me all my shields back. As I kill the last aliens on board the Pillar of Autumn, we find out it's too late. Too many grunts have exploded and the ship is going down. Level 1 done, and I've only amounted a respectable 9 deaths so far. I thought my score was a little disappointing, but I still beat this guy by like 2 trillion, so spirits are high. Our escape pod crash lands on a mysterious ring world whose name escapes me at the moment, but all the Marines die so they can't watch me do this sick grenade jump. After a scenic walk through the beautiful landscape of... it'll come to me. We run into a gaggle of aliens, but we can just sit on this rock and wait for the elites to get close to the grunts. And then I think supposedly if you do this jump and you go back to the previous section, that despawns another wave of enemies, but Cortana doesn't like that idea.
Where are you going?
And it didn't work, so I take matters into my own hands. And then Master Chief's mom is so proud of us that she buys us a car. and it even comes with a friend. Then we drive into this tunnel, which Cortana astutely describes as an unnatural cave that someone built that leads somewhere.
This cave is not a natural formation. Someone built it, so it must lead somewhere.
And that somewhere is supposed to be a big firefight, but luckily I know exactly where I'm going, and my friend provides cover fire while I fail the easiest jump in the game.
Come get some!
When I reach the other side of the cave that someone built that leads somewhere, I park my car in the perfect spot for our friend to kill some Covenant while I go get something. He'll be fine. And Cortana gets mad at me for going backwards again.
We should search the interior of those structures before we leave.
Little does she know, I'm about to perform a glitch for the first time. A glitch that will help us throughout the entire game. The infinite ammo glitch. You see, all you need is another weapon on the ground that you can pick up. So it has to be another human weapon that you don't already have, because if you remember, Chief forgot how to use the other ones. When your weapon starts the reload animation, you just immediately drop it on the ground and a ghost will finish reloading it for you. You can even hear him doing it. See? So after we take those guys out with unlimited sniper bullets, we search the interiors of these structures before we leave. Sounds like a lot of bad guys. Got him. So these next couple sections of the level only count as completed once all of the Marines leave the area. Because we saved them. Because we saved them, right?
What is wrong with you?
Well, we saved 2 of them anyways. So then we drive over here and we do the same thing, get these guys in the car, and then I run over this guy, and they get pissed about it for some reason.
Get him! He's a traitor! Nice job!
I beg their forgiveness, but only because this Marine is special. Like the others, he was strong and swift and brave, but he has something the others didn't. A sniper rifle. Which is very, very good.
Mate, nice and smooth now! Turn that off!
He can be a little ambitious, sure,
Found him! Yeah, let's do it!
but I couldn't have done it without his help. There was a point where I had no shields and a single bar of health, but my sniper friend held this elite's attention while I snuck up behind him. So then Master Chief calls his mom to pick him up from the party because he's scared, and we finish mission 2 with only 13 deaths so far. On Truth and Reconciliation, Johnson wants to board the Covenant ship to save Captain Keyes, and we still need to give him back the pistol that he lent to us. The first couple attempts at this section didn't go so well. On my second try, these Marines didn't last long. And this other Marine tells me he's right behind me from like 100 yards away. This Marine shoots me a little bit, but if you listen real close, he says sorry, and I can't really be mad about it at this point, to be honest. A little bit more sniping, and then I'm told it's time to be sneaky, which I fail at, but at least I didn't try to combat roll like 2 feet in front of Master Chief. Third time's the charm, and I'm only spotted just as I grab the invisibility power-up, but they forgot after a couple seconds, and I can just walk past. I melee this grunt to try and get my shields back, which goes well, and then I try it again immediately after, and it goes well again. So right there you can see the gravity lift we need to take to get into the Covenant ship, but we gotta clear out all the bad guys, which is easy while I'm invisible. But as the invisibility runs out, I grab some health and ammo and run back to my hiding spot, where I am quickly found and promptly blow myself up through this rock. Basically the plan is to hide out back here so they're forced to come to me and I can blow them all up. That proves to be quite the challenge, as I have pretty limited ammo. Over many attempts I improve my efficiency, but today would not be the day. I run out of ammo, and I only have 1 bar of health remaining, so I decide to go back to the previous section to look for resources. Unfortunately, this ends up being my downfall, as the game gives me a checkpoint and I am unable to find anything useful. Saving and quitting now will respawn me with nothing, and I let the game send me back to the start of the mission. I die a few more times as I hastily try to regain my progress. But once I'm back behind my rock, I take it nice and slow and wait for the enemies to group up. I thought I killed everyone, but nothing was happening, and I found the last grunt waiting in this turret. 2 hunters show up, and I have to line up a good shot on their orange fleshy bits. They best me a couple of times, but once I catch them off guard, it's quick work before my mom shows up with some of my friends to help in the second half. We all go up the slide together and Cortana tells us that nobody's home, but she's wrong. There's a lot of people home. So I guess this is where the game gets hard because I die like 20 times trying to clear out this room. Just kidding, this game is easy. You're gonna have to try harder than that, Bungie. They try the hunters again, but my handy dandy sniper rifle is out of ammo, so I need a new strategy. You are witnessing the pinnacle of Halo CE gameplay. Inactive camo makes walking through the hallways without being detected a breeze. And then we're gonna learn a little speedrun trick right here. So you can do a double grenade jump to get to this upper ledge in the hangar, but you need some overshields to pull it off. The Covenant knows that, so they put some right here. And then with 2 well-placed grenades and a perfectly timed jump, you can just hop right up. That skips a few spawn triggers, so I can just walk through some empty hallways. At this point, there's only a few more enemies until we save keys. But this is where I learn that him dying counts as me dying, which happens a few times. And then literally everyone dies except for the 2 of us. Reunited! To finish the level, we grab a hidden camo and use it to kill 3 invisible sword elites. And then Cortana calls my mom again to pick me up, but she says she's busy, so Dad drives us home.
Time for a little payback.
In the Silent Cartographer, we have to find the map to Halo, but I've played this game before, so I already know exactly where to go. And I grabbed this car on the way that we're about to use for a speedrun trick. It's pretty straightforward, just grab this overshield so these guys can't kill me while I drive my car through their front door. And usually what happens here is Cortana says,
Don't let them lock the doors.
and then they lock the doors. But since I have this car, I can actually go fast enough to get through the door and skip a section of the mission. So once I'm inside, I run into some hunters, but that's no problem. Technically, the pistol counts as a precision weapon, which means if I get 1 headshot on an unshielded enemy, they'll die. And technically, hunters are an unshielded enemy. And technically, this orange part counts as their head, so
I want you to use any means.
I can use this overshield to break my fall and sneak up behind this elite, but the grunt notices me, so I kill him and all of his friends.
Secure.
And then this elite doesn't understand the meaning of Silent Cartographer and yells. But I grab the map and it's time to go. I grenade jump this shortcut to the active camo and everyone just lets me leave. Except this guy, but there's a glitch where if you stand right here in this corner, he can't hit you. Unfortunately, everyone else can still hit me, so I use a different glitch where if I punch him in the back, he dies. So we get the car back and drive outside. And Mom picks me up.
I'm the man! I am the man!
Assault on the control room has one of the biggest skips, but it doesn't happen right away. First I have to sneak past this elite and get through this room. But then it's time. See, all I have to do is this very specific series of hypnotic movements that makes the elite want to give me his Banshee.
Any UNSC forces? Does anyone copy? Over.
And then that skips every spawn trigger for the rest of the level.
This is it. Halo's control center.
So we put Cortana into Halo and then she goes crazy.
What are you talking about?
And then she tells us that we have to go stop whatever Captain Keyes is doing.
Before it's too late!
So the captain's lost on the other side of the jungle, but I can just jump on this rock and then jump over the jungle and skip that whole nightmare. Surely nothing we find down here will be as scary as the jungle. Once we're down here, there's a few grunts and we can just run past these goofballs. You're looking the wrong way, there's nothing over there, guys.
Stay back! Stay back! You're not turning me into one of those things!
That was weird. So Master Chief finds Jenkins and checks what's on his SD card, and he watches all the Marines lose to like 20 flood balloons. But so what they should have done is just walked backwards and spammed melee like this. The big flood guys are a little bit scarier, but you can mostly just punch them and run by them a lot of the time. And then bada boom bada bing, we found the elevator and we're getting out of here. Oh, never mind. but coming down here was actually good because they give me overshield, and they give me camo, and they give me the Flood Killer 3000. But we hardly even get to use it before we're back into the jungle, and I just run for my life to the end of the mission. It's a close call, but they all forgot about me. Guilty Spark appears and proceeds to state the obvious, gaslight me, and kidnap me.
Not again!
And now it's time for everybody's favorite level. It kicks off with Guilty Spark telling us to go to the index chamber, but I know a shortcut.
We are near the index chamber.
The Flood do start chasing us eventually, but I can slow them down by stylishly breaking the glass under their feet, so to speak. Similar to the Lasso Covenant, some of the Flood enemies explode and kill their friends. We can use some nifty grenade lineups to clear out some of the Flood. There's a trick I'll use a few times in this level. Guilty Spark has to open a lot of doors while we fight off like waves of Flood, but if we trigger the objective and then we go wait in a specific spot, the enemies won't spawn in and it'll just open the door after a couple minutes. For this section, there's a bunch of bad guys the way I'm supposed to be going, so I'm not gonna go that way, I'll just go around. Now these guys are gonna give us something really, really special. Baby's first rocket launcher. And in case you forgot, it has infinite ammo. Fun fact, when you do the infinite ammo glitch with the shotgun, you can see it pump itself on the ground, which brings me joy after 153 deaths. You know what else brings me joy? Guilty Spark wants us to wait while he opens another door, and I know the perfect spot. And when the door opens, all these guys run right past me, leaving themselves open to my stealth attack. A little grenade jump. And then back into the corner to wait some more. And then one last door for Guilty Spark to open and I'm home free. Shut up about the doors! You guys are lucky I didn't talk about the elevators. So I grab the index, but Guilty Spark wants to carry it for me, and we're off to level 8.
He's your pal, is he? Your chum?
Yes.
Cortana makes sure that Guilty Spark and I are still friends so that it hurts more when she tells us that he's trying to kill me. So Guilty Spark sicks his dogs on me and I handle them accordingly. And then another nifty trick. By opening this door and then immediately trying to close it, most of the enemies on the other side forget to spawn. And bonus fun fact, enemies can't see you through these shield things. I use some slides to avoid taking fall damage on the way to my Banshee, which by the way can fly backwards in this game. We gotta go back to that door one more time because it actually ends up starting the next objective. With the Banshee, the outside sections of this level are pretty easy, and with the rockets, the inside sections are pretty easy. This Gold Elite thinks he stands a chance in a 1v1. The trick as I know it for killing Banshees is that they'll just fly in a straight line right at you even if you're holding a rocket launcher. And we're actually going to come back to this bridge in a second because if we go down this elevator and load in the enemies down below, and then we go back up, we can just rain rockets down on all the new bad guys. And there's even a window, so you can watch your rockets while you reload. Right, well, once all that's taken care of, we're just going to borrow this ghost since no one's using it and drive it to the next part and fire way more rockets than I'm supposed to have and clear out all these enemies around this Banshee. Clear off this platform, land at the objective, and you know the drill. But here's a little strategy before we activate the objective. If we just weasel our Banshee into this hallway, we can use it as a barricade later. Perfect. See, and then after we jump in here, some Flood guys would come through that door, but they can't. And then down here, Bungie is thinking, nobody's bringing any vehicles through this door, but I'm thinking otherwise. So that lets me spawn in these enemies and then drive away really fast so I can blow them up from a responsible distance. The rest of the level is pretty much same old, rockets and nonsense. But I've got one last trick up my sleeve. After I drive this ghost rather conspicuously past these Covenant, I need a distraction before I can safely steal one of their banshees, but I've got just the thing to make them look the other way. Four grenades. And then Cortana learns how to use teleportation.
No, that'll take too long.
Time to save Keys. And I'm gonna need this guy's help to do it. Some Flood have a random chance to revive themselves after they die, so if you stand on top of them when they get up, they push you out of the way. So if we line up just right on this wall in the anniversary graphics, and then kill this guy and crouch on top of him, if we're lucky and he gets back up, we'll just clip right through the wall. Now, this obviously skips various things, including the trigger for the AI and these enemies. We will eventually hit the trigger for this though, but we can still kill them while they're in this state. The titular Keys has been turned into Flood, but we still have a chance to save them. Oh, some enemies bust down the door, but I have already hidden behind this pillar, and they have no idea where I am. Same thing over here, just chuck a couple grenades into this hallway, and once it's all clear, I can just walk to the end. Assassinate this guy before I smoothly escape into one of these banshees.
This is it, baby. Hold me.
It's time to destroy Halo once and for all. You're supposed to fight some Sentinels and some Flood, but if you wait long enough, they'll just kill each other and you can just finish off whoever's left. Like that. There's a spawn trigger in the middle of this cafeteria, so I can preemptively throw a grenade into this door and then spawn the enemies right on top of it. Somebody's gonna have to explain how this melee missed, because I ain't buying it. That was ridiculous. But it ends up not really mattering. Cortana tries to activate the Pillar of Autumn's built-in bomb feature, but Guilty Spark doesn't like that idea, so the Master Chief has to go use the manual override. On my way there, I run into some bad guys, but they don't stand a chance against my superior game knowledge. Or my rocket launcher. Once we get to the engine room, we can do this grenade jump to skip a couple hallways, and then all we have to do is open up and destroy the 4 fusion cores. When I flip the switch to open the exhaust, it triggers a spawn for 4 Sentinels, but we can just go give them the old death stare.
Run out of explosives. There is an armory station.
And then we're pretty much free to destroy the engine.
Analyzing.
Flip the next switch, and you don't actually need to see the Sentinels to destroy them as long as you're in this little waiting room. If you listen closely, you can hear them. And I have just enough rockets to finish off the rest of the cores. And now you know what time it is. In just a second, the elevator's killing me. It's time for the OG Warthog run, the perfect cinematic ending. And we're off to a great start. But with my immaculate driving, we should be able to make up some lost time. Maybe. But it's alright, I know a shortcut. Ignore that. The music lines up just perfectly for the gap jump. And then by the end, I had just enough time to take the long way around. And finish with only 10 seconds on the clock. And there you have it, Halo CE Solo Lasso. And it only took 195 deaths in like 15 hours. So now I feel confident in answering the big question. How hard could it be? I don't know, like 7.5, 8 out of 10. Big shout out to the Halo Completionist on YouTube who made a great tutorial for this challenge, and big shout out to all my fans, especially you.
This is it, baby. Hold me.
Thanks for watching, don't forget to subscribe and comment what game you think I should do next so I can reply bad idea.